nerds, it's Travis from the Nerd Herders here, coming at you with a nerdy product review. Today I'm going to be doing a primarily review / comparison between the Celestial Toystore 11th Dr. Sonic Screwdriver and the Wand Company 12th Dr. Sonic Screwdriver Remote. So a quick disclaimer for those of you that are watching this. I'm not an expert on the original screen used prop, so if I say anything that's incorrect for those of you that have a more extensive knowledge base, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But again, this is a very quick sort of review and comparison of the two products because they're very similar in a lot of respects, but also kind of at opposite ends of the spectrum as far as cost and quality. So for starters, let's talk about the one that I had gotten first. 12th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver Universal Remote Control. Before this, I have owned all sorts of toy Sonic screwdrivers, including the character options 11th Dr. Sonic Screwdriver. And the two of those are very, very similar in a lot of respects as far as like construction, functionality, things like that. This screwdriver has lights, it has sounds, it has a on-off feature for any TV. It's like a TV Be Gone installed. And this is the first screwdriver of this variety to feature a flicking extension action thing on it, whatever you want to call it. This is the first one that flicks open instead of hitting the button and its spring shoots up, which was very, very exciting when I first got it. It came with a little plastic stand, which is okay for display purposes. It keeps it upright and it's cool. The screwdriver, it's got really loud sound, a really bright green LED in it, and it's gesture based, which means depending on how you move it, it changes the way that it sounds. So you tap it. Tap it twice. There we go. There we go. And then there's like, if you rotate it and tap it, it does other sounds. I'm not going to go through all of them. Point being, it has a wide variety of sounds. They're all very loud, very clear. Sound on this is awesome. Lights bright, and it also lights up when it's extended. Something that I've noticed, just because I've used it an awful lot, as far as like flicking it, playing around with it, is that it's wobbly, it's rattly. This upper cage section is much heavier than the plastic bottom section here, so it tends to rattle, and those claws are super uneven as far as the angle that they stick out at, and it's just kind of, the more I look at it, the more it irritates me. So for me, I just keep it closed, I keep it in its stand all the time, I don't fuss with it. I have a TCL 4K TV, and this does not work on it. Not very well, at least. Does not turn it on, doesn't turn it off. The only thing I've gotten it to do is adjust the volume, which is great, but defeats its purpose as a remote. So it's just kind of a display piece at this point, and not a very accurate one at that. What we have here is the crown jewel of any Sonic screwdriver collector's collection, I think. This is the Celestial Toystore Sonic Screwdriver Replica. The Celestial Toy Maker spent an insane amount of time very meticulously researching the original screen-used prop, the materials that were used in it. He kind of got to see how it was put together so he could reverse engineer it and make something that functions the same way, but better, so to speak. And that's not, you can't even debate that at this point. If you know anything about the prop, if you know anything about the replicas, this functions much better than the screen-used prop, but it looks identical to it. Very high-end materials. I say high-end materials, they're just materials, but better than the zinc and the plastic and the rubber that's used on the Wand Company, and then just the straight-up plastic that the character options toy does. This is made out of copper, brass, aluminum. This leather bit here is made out of lambskin, which is like fantastic, and then like really well cast, and then I don't even know what you call it, machined acrylic resin. Good hard durable stuff there. This little bit here actually was cast off of the original screen use resin bit, and it's kind of cool because you can see little imperfections. I'll see if I can take some photos of that show you where they had maybe put in little grub screws before, retention screws, and then taken them out, moved them around. There's a little tactile switch here which activates the lights and sounds, hand stitching on the leather there. The bottom cap, unlike the Wand Company's remote, has this little kind of flip open little hinge there where there's the secret red button that was featured on this version of the Sonic Screwdriver in Season 5, Matt Smith's introductory season. It was never used as far as I know. The only time it looks like he's using it is the Time of Angels, where River says, "Doctor, can you sonic me?" And he's just like, at her. But he's not hitting that button. He's just kind of hitting the one here with his hand, with his fingers wrapped around it, just like that. But so lights and sounds, you see, this has actually got a white LED in it as opposed to the green LED that the other one has. And it does have sound. It's just really, really quiet, which I kind of like. I feel like an actual sonic screwdriver would probably be louder, but this being a really fancy toy, really nice toy, it doesn't draw too much attention to me or to itself when I'm out and about using it for like automatic doors or street lights, or if there's a really stupid driver ahead of me, I get a little bit of road rage, and I like to imagine like I'm gonna blow up that engine, but then, oh no, they've deadlocked their engine, so I can't blow it up like all jerks do when they're out and about driving. But it's fun. I like playing around with it, and because of the way it's crafted, I feel like you can flick and flick and flick this thing all day long. I've had it for about a week now, and I play with it nonstop. It's either in my hand or in my pocket or sitting right beside me. It does not leave my side no matter where I am. And I have had no issues with it at all. It looks fantastic. It's significantly smaller than I was expecting. I say significantly, it's a little bit smaller, but it's enough that you can feel it and you can see it when it's here in your hand or in front of you next to another screwdriver of this type, which is great because that was a huge complaint lots of people had when the 11th Doctor screwdriver came out, is it's massive. This feels right. It feels good, and it looks great. Claws are all extended evenly. They are all the exact same distance apart, held out at the same exact angle. Good machining there. There's no sharp edges to any of this. Everything just looks really, really good. And the copper does tarnish with your hands. Your oils kind of get picked up on it, and it darkens it a little bit. But very easy to get like Brasso or any like metal polish really. And 5-10 minutes of work, and you clean it up. It looks real great. Put it in your little box on display. That's awesome. I like to carry it around. So I polish it pretty regularly, just because I just play with it a lot. It is quite an expensive screwdriver. If you're somebody who's into screen accurate prop collecting, I highly recommend it. It looks phenomenal in the shelf or in your hand. I would not be afraid to cosplay and like carry this around with me, other than people getting jealous and wanting to take it from me. But all in all, very happy with the screwdriver. Had a relatively painless. The wait time was about a month from ordering it, and I will admit I got a little impatient, got a little anxious because it was expensive, and I wanted it in my hands. That's what she said. Anyways, I'm really happy with it. I really like it. I like keeping it with me all the time and just showing off. Like when I first got it, it didn't have batteries, so I walked down to a hardware store, and it takes A23 12-volt batteries, and it was hilarious because the guy that I bought them from was like, "Nobody ever buys these." And I was like, "Well, have you heard of Doctor Who?" And he was like, "Yeah, I love Doctor Who." And he didn't actually talk like that. But I pulled this out of my pocket, and his eyes just got real wide, and he's just looking at it, and he's looking at me, and just like, I was like, "Do you want to hold it?" And he held it, and just, like, he was very, very excited. And then just flicking this thing is a dream. I absolutely love it. Feels solid, feels safe to kind of mess around with it, and just super fun, It's incredibly fun. It's a brilliant replica. It looks and feels exactly the way you would imagine the screwdriver to feel the way it is in the show. So I love it very much. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If you've had any dealings with Celestial Toystore, I keep looking at my watch, making sure my camera's not running out of battery. But yeah, let me know, what are your thoughts, what are your feelings in the comments below. Stay tuned for some more episodes of our Talking Nerdy podcast. Welcome to the tavern. Probably going to have some Nerds versus Retro a little bit there, maybe some more nerdy product reviews. And I guess until next time, stay nerdy.